Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adobe Live APAC. I'm Johanna from Dark Hours Co, and I'm here with the wonderful Flynn Tracy. How are you today, Flynn?
I'm good. How are you?
That's good. Pretty nervously excited, I would say, for the stream
Perfect.
today.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect balance.
Great. Good. Yep.
How about you? You excited?
I'm ready to go. We keep.
Mhm.
I keep thinking of this show as like South Park, not in terms of content, but in terms of like that they don't have the show planned out, but they spend this whole week. They do these sprints, and then they make the show during the week, and then they do it all again, and they've been doing that for like 17 years or something. So they
Wow,
don't
I
plan
didn't
it
actually
out.
know that.
Yeah, they do it week to week. So they get in on Monday and they're like, cool, what are some ideas for the show that's on Friday? And it's amazing. There's a whole documentary about it. And I feel like it's a little bit like that. I have no idea what I'm ever going to do. But then just before we go live, I'm like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm so excited. Let's roll.
Yep, that checks out.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, first of all, I just want to say hi to chat. Hello, hello, welcome, Manny. Lovely to see you here. And introduce what we'll be doing today.
Sounds good.
So we're continuing our Firefly Friday. So this is the last episode of our trial run. Let's see, that Flynn and I decided on. And I mean, seems like it's working out. So I think we're going to have to continue this.
We'll have to figure something out. Yeah.
Absolutely. We will figure something out, chat. But today, for the last of the initial one, the season one, if you will, we are doing Cyberpunk City. So robots, neon lights, everything that Jeremy Lord loves,
Right.
and giving it a red hot go is what the Australians say. And for me personally, stepping out a little bit out of my comfort zone to draw inorganic shapes and robots and stuff.
Awesome. Oh, that's cool. All right, well, let's jump into it. So this is a stream where we just share both of our screens. We're doing different sorts of things based on the prompt. Happy to get some feedback from anyone live in chat as well. Any tips? It's always great to get like prompt tips and things like that. Or if you've got any questions, of course, as we're rolling along. I'll be in Photoshop doing a little bit of outpainting, and I'm going to show you a very cool trick right at the end as a bit of a hook that I think can make generative art look 10 times better.
Wow.
So there we go. 10 times. It may be an arbitrary number that I just pulled out of my hat, but there we go. All right, I'm going to get started. Do you want to start kind of explaining what you're doing, Johanna? I'm just going to be gathering a few images to start, and then I'll be spending most of the time in Photoshop with generative AI. So do you want to kind of chat a little bit more about what you're up to?
Absolutely, yeah. So as you can see, I've done some initial starter sketches. I brought in some reference. Let's see if it will show. Yes, it will show if I have it on the right layer. Brought in some reference that I collected for a previous stream because I ended up getting some robots in there as well, and some additional reference that I searched for in Firefly this morning. But I'm having a bit of iCloud issues this morning, so I can't show you that at the moment, but we'll see if I can figure it out by the end of the stream. And then also some sketches that I was scribbling this morning just to warm up.
Show that again, and I'll keep your camera a bit bigger so we can see it. There
we go. Yes.
There we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
they are real.
Just some scrabbles. 2 pages of it actually.
Nice.
Just to warm up and make this out of comfort zone drawing experience a little less out of my comfort zone. So long story short, I'll be drawing robots today and seeing if I can incorporate any of the cyberpunk sort of thematic universe elements into it if I can. So that's me.
Sounds good. Well, I found my base image. I think might be a bit of a challenging one, but that's okay. And I'm going to pop it into this little Cyberpunk City file and throw it into Photoshop Beta.
Perfect.
Or am I? Yes, I am.
That is the question.
That is the question. And of course, if you don't know, hang on, let me fix this for a sec. you don't know how to get access to generative AI, you need to just download the Photoshop beta, which you'll have if you have a Creative Cloud account. You just have to search for Photoshop, beta will come up and the normal Photoshop will show up, and you can just download that, keep it updated, and you will have access to generative fill, which will of course be shipped in Photoshop at some point in the future. But if you want to play around with it now, like I am, then you are welcome to do so that way.
Very, very cool. And as per usual, I am using Fresco today, which is my, at least for streaming like this, it is my application of choice because it's just very fun and easy. Now, as you can see, I did one complete-ish sort of initial sketch before the stream, and I'm continuing on another that I did. And really what I'm focusing on is shapes, because robots are very obviously just like stacks of shapes on top of each other. And actually one thing that I didn't mention and that I have is I have some 3D reference in the form of this little robot that I built out of mini bricks, I'm pretty sure. So Lego, but not Lego, just to get the idea of, first of all, how the joints could possibly work. So let's see. Yeah, so there's a ball joint there, and obviously it's then rectangles and some other interesting shapes that you can definitely see with this green screen situation. And also a really cool sword, just to help my brain have a better mental image and reference of, well, to make this as close to a functional robot as possible, I need to think of these things, and the way that this is positioned wouldn't actually work, and things like that. So just
it's like those little figure drawings that you get.
Exactly,
like
it's like the little man,
little dude.
Exactly like that. Let's see. Let's just move that light a little bit. That looks good. So yeah, because I'm not sure if you've noticed, Flynn, but I don't really draw inorganic or like sharp shapes. Very much. I'm definitely a softie, both in my art and otherwise, for sure. But this already, with this second robot sketch, I am kind of digging it.
It's cool. So what made you, I mean, I guess Cyberpunk is the thing that made you jump out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you could have gone the sort of alternative fashion route. And yes, that would have been fun, but just something that actually inspired me was I went to the Dark Spectrum experience with my dad a couple of weekends ago, and I won't spoil it, but there's a part of that experience. I
think it's finished, isn't it? Vivid?
I think there's one more weekend left.
Right, gotcha.
So I was contemplating.
I'm like, just ruin it. Just ruin it. It doesn't matter.
No, if I care, then I will not ruin it.
Gotcha.
And so I went there, and there was a part of the experience that was very robotic, and that's going to be the inspire, or like the basis of my next robot sketch.
Yeah.
Because it was very cool, a little bit spooky, and I just immediately knew that I'm doing robots for Cyberpunk City, for sure.
Very cool. So I am just adding to my artwork. So I've started with kind of this original, that's kind of cool, Cyberpunk image, just directly straight from Firefly, just landscape. But then I'm using a tip from Jesus Ramirez. It's the first time I saw it, but Photoshop tutorial, fantastic wizard, knows more about Photoshop than anyone I've ever met, and that's saying something. So he did a quick little video on just pixel sizes and pixel density within generative AI Photoshop, and he gave the very clever tip of kind of tiling your artwork if you're trying to do this outpainting sort of thing. So rather than selecting a lot and then getting generative AI to fill it all in, it's limited to the amount of pixels that you can have. And so a good kind of rule of thumb to do to get like a high res artwork in the end is 1024 by 1024. I haven't really done this before. I haven't really mattered too much. It's not like I'm going to print something and put it up on my wall, but I did think that I should show it and play around with it a little bit myself. And it seems to be working super, super, super well. So that's why I'm kind of tiling things across, taking a little bit longer than I've done in the past. But it should get just so much more information in those pixels. It's not getting stretched. And it seems to be working quite well.
Very cool. Learned something new today.
Because of the cool tip that I'm going to show you at the end, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, no. And hello, Barbara. Welcome to the chat as well. And also, of course, if you have any questions about what we're doing,
hi, Barbara.
In terms of like, well, why did you make the robot look like that? And how did you, think about that? Just ask us the question in the chat and we will do our best to answer it. That was the most convoluted way of asking for questions.
We got there. We got there
in the end. Let's see, copy, selection, and then paste. Yeah, so if you're confused about what in the world is Johanna doing, just ask me in the chat and I will do my best to figure out what I'm doing and then explain it back to you. Let's see.
It's a good way to put it.
Now, I did just do a bit of a sneaky trick, which I think is allowed for what I'm doing today, which is I just selected an area of the robot, copied it, moved it over, and then pasted it so that these legs now both look the same.
It's symmetrical.
Exactly, because the difference was bothering me a little bit. I'm not going to do it with everything because then we will be here forever. But I thought I'd mention it that I did do it with the legs. Let's see.
And do you have like a particular brush that you use for sketching? Like what you're doing now? And I notice you're not sketching on just a white background. You have like a little bit of a kind of off-white tan.
Yeah, I have like a greenish off-white. Partially because I thought, oh, well, that would look nice and sort of be on theme, on brand. But it also is just to make it a little bit easier on the eyes for me to sort of be this close. I mean, you can't really see when I do it like that, but to be really close to the screen and looking at the screen like intently and focused for a long time. It's nice to not have such a starkly white background to be looking at, and it also just helps a little bit with the mood of the piece, and also kind of tricks my eye into, oh, we're drawing something new and exciting and different, because the environment in which I'm drawing in, which is a different colored canvas, is different, and then I might consider things I wouldn't otherwise have considered if I were to be just using a regular colored canvas. And you mentioned about the brushes, and I did have a little look around for brushes just before we started. And this one is Charter Webster, of course, drawing box, and it's the rough pastel. And I like it. It's not potentially... So what brush did I use there? I think I'm actually going to switch over, not because you just mentioned it, but because I want to mix things up a little bit. So I'm going to change it to, let's see. Is it this one? Yes. Just to give it a little bit more texture, because it was a little bit too smooth for me. So going back to the brush that I'm using, that I used in the sketch to the right, which is, let's see here, Kyle's again, and Dry Media Pack, and it's Soft Pastel Tooth. So it has you can see it has a nice transfer gradient and is a little bit more textured, which I really like.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I've just spent way too long trying to find the right looking building ledge for the foreground of my image, but I've done it. So
that's how it is.
That's how we roll.
Okay, let's see. Now for this stream, I'm probably gonna just be in Sketchbook Town, because these are more intricate shapes than I usually draw, and I just want them to look semi-okay. So there probably won't be any coloring time from me today. So everyone look to Flynn for colorful colors.
I got the reds. If you like reds,
and the blues and the yellows.
Yeah.
Pinks.
Whatever these colors are.
That's not bad. Now let's give this robot a face of some sort. How do we want to do this? Chat, I'd love your
How do you want to do
input.
this?
Exactly.
I'm picking up that reference.
Very well done. I'm just gonna try out something.
I'll just checking with chat, Barbara, who's in Australia here. So Johanna and I are both in Australia. Australia. I was going to say Sydney, Australia, at the same time. We're both in Australia. Barbara, you're saying not you right now. Does that mean you're coming to Australia at some point, or you've been here before?
Ooh.
That'd be interesting. That'd be cool. I found someone online in some of my research of looking for people, and they have like quite a big following on TikTok, and they're doing all this Adobe stuff. And I'm like, oh, who is this person? And I was listening. I'm like, they have an Australian accent. How do I not know who this person is? And
wow.
I've sent it to like all these people internally at Adobe, and no one knows who this dude is. He's got this Australian accent, and he does these great tutorial videos. And I'm like, where do you live? Where did you come from? What's going on? It's quite funny.
Where did you go?
Pardon?
Where did you come from?
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Oh, well done. Oh, dear.
We have fun here.
We do. I'm going to show my screen just a little bit, and then we'll pop over to Johanna's for a little bit of a closer look. So I'm doing, a little bit of out painting. So I've kind of, in this particular case, I've got my, oh no, we're experiencing high demand. Please wait and retry your prompt soon. Thank you for the patience. All right, everybody get off Firefly. I'm trying to do a stream here. Oh my goodness. But I will show one little thing while we're just waiting for that. I don't know how long that's going to wait. If you do want to just select a certain amount of pixels, like I was talking about before, you can do fixed size, and it's already saved it here from before. And I've just put 1024 by 1024 up the top. And that means no matter what I select with the marquee, it will always be exactly that size. And so that's really great for this when we know that that's the maximum amount of pixel density we're going to get from a Firefly generated tile. So useful in that sense. What I'm trying to do is just basically fill out the rest of this. I'm not being too fussy about kind of what's happening here. I'm even quite happy for the background just to be kind of a gradient off into the sky. If it is, maybe we'll have some time to add some text and it's a bit of a poster or something like that. Maybe the city will keep going, or we could put like some clouds, or like be nice to put like a floating junker cyberpunky type ship floating in the distance, something like that. We'll see how we go, but not being too fussy, because the goal today is to get this done and then show you my neat trick at the end. Let's jump over to Johanna's Johanna Cam. Here we go with your cool skull. I like this skull robot.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it's gonna be just. I'm trying to figure out how it would actually be constructed for a potential pilot to be inside of the robot. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make that work, but we shall see.
Cool.
And also just thinking about the shape.
Nice. Manny in chat, it looks like a movie opening scene. I assume you're thinking of my one. Yeah, I think it does a little bit. It has that kind of ominous kind of thing going on.
Let's
bit
see.
spooky.
So I don't want it to be too cute either. But it's very on brand for me for the first face that I do to be a skull for sure. So let's
not channeling your inner Dale Bagini.
Exactly right. I wanted to see if I could do it in an interesting way, but we shall see about that. I do actually I don't want to get stuck working on the one robot
details.
to rule them all.
Yeah.
So I think for now, at the very least, I'm going to call it here on this one. But I don't mind it. It's kind of cute.
It looks cool. Barbara, we
Okay.
just watched a sci-fi movie on TV. Oh, cool. What did you watch? And Manny says, is the robot like mega size, like Voltron?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. And with this next one, actually, I'll do it quickly for this one. We'll just do the ground. Ignore that the legs aren't even. Just do it up like so, a little bit, and then we'll have a little pilot. No, hold on.
It doesn't take much to make something look like it has scale, right? You need a little bit of perspective and then just like a figure, like banana for scale, like just a little person.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a little guy.
Perfect.
Can't see it too well, but that's fine. I'm gonna have a look at my reference again here.
What are you using for reference? Are you using stuff generated in Firefly?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Now, sadly, I can't. Actually, let's use one of these that you can see. Let's use this one. Here, maybe. Oh no, let's do it. Let's do a box shape. Box shapes are good. Because we kind of just did the other shape. Okay.
Hey, Gareth's in chat as well. Keep forgetting you are on. No worries.
Hey.
Hey. Hope you're doing well,
Welcome,
Gareth.
welcome.
We're just on Johanna Cam at the moment.
Cam.
And then, hey, Gareth, I know you're always in Discord. I'm going to show a trick in about 5 minutes when I get to the end of my outpainting. And I want you to tell me if you've seen it before. Because if you haven't, I might do a little tutorial on it. And post it in
Very
Discord because
exciting.
it's very cool. I saw someone else doing it and I'm going to give them the proper credit. But I don't think a lot of people have seen the thing that I saw. So
Very exciting.
like a little trick to keep Gareth watching for another 5 minutes.
It's like
I promise I got something cool.
Gareth.
I know. I promise I got something cool. It's got me excited. I just think it's a cool trick. And Johanna's either going to love it or hate it. I told her before the stream. I got a
I'm
little trick.
nervous.
Yeah, you should be. It's like pretty crazy.
I absolutely am. Like, I thought drawing robots on stream was going to be nerve-wracking. No, this is nerve-wracking. Let's see here. Because the thing with drawing robots from any angle other than face on, like T-pose face on, is that you kind of have to be decent at perspective.
Right.
And not to say that I'm bad at it, but it's definitely not something that I get daily practice with, or even sort of frequent practice with.
Sure.
So we shall see how it goes.
The question in chat, does AI give you specific colors if you ask about a specific gradient? As far as I'm aware, yeah, you can put in specific colors. So you can put in types of color as well. Like if you want a pastel kind of color, if you want really sharp or vibrant, it understands all of those words quite well in my experience. I think, I don't know like what the limit would be. Like if you wanted just a 3-color artwork, I don't think it would do that. But I think if you sort of said, I want blues and purples and red sunset kind of thing, it totally understands that really, really well. If that's what you mean.
Let's see. We found a new brush has entered the arena.
That's funny because a new playlist just entered the arena. So there we go.
Amazing.
Oh, we're still on yours.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
This works.
So we're going to keep it on Johanna's cam for a sec. I just got to make sure that everything is set up correctly on my side.
Music is playing. I can hear voices.
Yeah, I knew that you would say that.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I can hear voices emanating from the music, I should clarify. So not just voices in the ether. That would have been a bit more concerning. Now, chat, I would love if you have any name suggestions for these robots. I think the last thing I'll do is go pencils down and then just go into naming mode, because I'd love to give names to my little.
Cool. I'll keep an eye on chat for us, by the way. So I can let you know if any pop through. I think Toaster Lad is a suggestion from me. There's a question in chat. Octavio, good question. Does it slow down your process if there are a lot of people on Firefly? I've never noticed it take longer to do a prompt. It seems to be at about 7 or 8 seconds as far as I can tell. But it can be at capacity. I actually had that 15 seconds before the stream. It sort of said, hey, like, there's a lot of people fireflying right now. Try again in a sec. But then 30 seconds later, it was all working as usual. So mileage may vary to that, but I haven't run into very many issues. So there you go.
Let's see here. Now I'm just thinking like, oh, what kind of stuff does a toaster have? Because it's always useful to have real world reference, even when making not real world things.
Right. Oh,
Manny
suggested Tiny the robot. It's good.
All these fantastic names. I'm gonna find a way. If I don't have a robot that can use the name today, I will draw a robot. Okay, here's a big promise. I will draw a robot for every name suggested.
Oh my god.
So do with that information what you will. But if you want a robot drawn by me, just give it a name. Let's see.
So back here, trying to find a cool flying junker ship or something. I need something in the sky. I think I'm not going to kind of get to text. I don't think.
What about Lucy?
Lucy?
Yeah, Lucy in the Sky.
Oh, I see. I see what's up.
I'm just being silly.
I like it.
Let's see. Okay, we have done one leg. Actually, how would that work? Yeah, that could swivel. Yeah, I've got Bill Hope in the back of my mind at the moment, just like, well, how would that actually work, Johanna? Not sort of that sternly. That's my little sprinkle of flavor text on it, but just like being mindful of, don't just put lines and pieces of metal in places that if you would try to move, you wouldn't actually be able to. So let's, because I like that leg. So we're going to take a break on Toasty, which is now the new name for Toaster Lad. Let's see, Toasty. And reimagine them a little bit.
Nice.
So let's see. So I like that leg. Or I might, you know what? I think I'm going into too much detail too quickly. So let's clean up the canvas a little bit. It's getting a bit messy. This is also a small square canvas, which is easier for streaming like this, so that I don't move about all the time. But it does make it a little bit challenging to is this the brush I was looking for? I think so. To keep it clean and not move around. Yes, I found the brush.
Nice.
Because as far as I know, you can't search directly for brushes in here in Fresco. So I was just hoping that I would come across the brush that I want to use. And
nice.
I just did. So I am very happy right now. Okay, and for those wondering, it's the Briggs photocopy brush from the Summer 2020 brush pack. Where's the zine liner? Let's try that one as well real quick. And it has a really nice crunch to it that I really like. Let's see.
Crunch.
Yes. This is the good stuff. Let's get that. Okay. Now, let's have a look at a reference again and get some shapes going. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have a look at my sketches and see if there's any here that I want to bring to life. Two slice Tony.
Cool.
Toaster.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to show my my silly trick. All right, so Johanna can only hear this. You can't see it anyway. But so let's see if I can do this correctly in one go. So we've got this artwork, right? That's been completely made. And you have this like artifacting within there. So you have this sort of stuff where from a distance it looks fine, but up close it looks like super a lot like it's generated, right? There's like a little bit of a mess. And anyway, I was kind of trying to find a way that you could kind of hide it a little bit. And I stumbled across a post by a guy called Rob DeWinter. And he's a dude I actually met in LA a while ago, and I've been following him since, and it's the coolest trick. So here we go. So you go down here to quick mask mode, select the whole canvas, and then we go edit, fill. So we're going to fill this with a color. So you have to select color again so that the dialog box comes up. I've already done it here. It won't be at these values, but the value needs to just be 30% gray. So you can just have 0, 0, 30 if you do the HSB, or just 77 in everything if you're using RGB. Doesn't matter, just got to be 30% gray. Pop that in, and you're going to get this quick selection of kind of gray. And then we're going to deselect that. And then we're going to, on that same layer without touching anything else, we're going to do generative fill. And we're going to pop in a style of art. So how about we try watercolor painting? I'm just going to generate and see how that works. Need a little drum roll thing. We needed it in the, I need a sound effect. It's like a drum roll. What's going to happen?
I don't know, and I'm scared.
All right. You can watch the stream back to see this little bit, Johanna, but what's happened is it's basically replaced the artwork with a very abstract water painting. But you can kind of tell that it's still behind it. But what you can do is you could just bring that opacity down to slowly bring back your artwork. And you're basically putting like a watercolor filter over the top of your artwork. And I think it's really neat.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. No, Flynn was saying just before we went live that I'm either going to love this trick or absolutely hate it. And I don't know how I feel about this yet.
Wait till you see it. So
partly because I haven't fully seen it, so that's not helping. But it sounds intriguing, and tune in next week to to find out what I think about it.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you think, chat? Have you seen anything like this before? And what do you think of the outcome? Because I think it works really, really well. And it kind of looks like you've come through with like a palette brush, right? And it acts like a filter. Like if you look up here, like you're really kind of getting fresco kind of level filtering stuff up here. But what's crazy, one of the crazy things is it's just a layer as well. So if we turn that off, this is our original artwork, and you can continue to add and make changes and then just turn it back on. So, you know, if I wanted to really kind of finesse this, and I don't know, where's our little, I always struggle to find our little favorite Band-Aid. You can just go back to your other layers and, you know, whoops. Here I am doing a demo, pressing all the wrong button. Let's say if you want to just start cleaning some of this up, like using the spot healing is great. You don't even have to be that careful with it, I would say, because of this filter thing that's coming through. So it's a pretty neat trick, I think. Yeah, Gareth is saying I was thinking you're going to add noise or something. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's really next level, I think. And then if I turn it back on, it's just applying the filter again. So you can it's non-destructive. You can just keep going. Now you can't extend the canvas, so it's something that you want to do once you've got your final canvas size, because you just need to redo it. And you know what else we could do? What if it wasn't?
I don't know, Flynn. You tell me.
What if it wasn't watercolor, and what if it was an oil painting? Does Firefly know what an oil painting is? Let's find out together. Yeah, it's pretty cool, I think. You can tell I'm excited about it.
Can indeed.
So let's see how we go with oil painting. So yeah, like at first it's kind of this abstract mess, but really it's just bringing down the opacity. Cool. So it's quite different. Done something a little bit funky up the top, I think, for this particular one, but it's really trying to get kind of the texture of an oil painting in there. Let's try charcoal. Just learn how to spell, hey. Charcoal.
Yeah, that's the one thing that will fool you and AI is the ability to spell your prompts correctly.
That's right. See how we go with charcoal. I haven't tried charcoal before, but presumably it'll work on any art style you can think of. So maybe you guys can think of stuff that I haven't yet. I've only really just started playing around with it. But yeah, if you go all the way up, like that's your charcoal. Like it's changing it a lot. Let me just kind of scale it back down a little bit. Slowly. Starts taking shape. But you still get to kind of keep some of that texture. But yeah, I think this watercolor painting is looking pretty cool. And of course, I don't think watercolor painting like really suits a cyberpunk kind of topic, but obviously if you played around with it with like landscapes and like beautiful scenery and things like that, it'd probably make a little bit more sense. But I think that's pretty cool for just a quick little thing that you can do. So there you go. Rob DeWinter, everybody. I got to give him some props for this one because I thought that was pretty crazy. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds bonkers if you ask me.
There we go. I'll send it to you when
yeah, that's from hearing it and not actually knowing what's going on.
That's right. Now we've got about 4 minutes left. Maybe soft pastel. Yeah, let's try it. Let's do it. Soft pastel painting. Let's roll. Manny says it adds mood. Yeah, totally.
Chat, let me know when you're ready to go back to a human being drawing.
Oh no, we can see your screen now as well. Sorry. But yeah, soft pastel totally works, by the way.
Listen.
Manny, here we go. Just fade it out. It's pretty cool. Good suggestion. Yeah, Gareth, let me know how you go. I said I'll have to try that out on my 8K image once I've finished laying it out. Yeah, go for it. I'd be interested to see what you come up with that little technique. I like this robot, Johanna.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, now it's starting to take shape. So, believe it or not, I don't just spit out incredible sketches from the get-go. Sometimes it does take me a minute to get into the perspective headspace, get into like the thematic headspace. So this is a robot. What do robots look like? And also just come up with something that looks like, oh, that's something that Johanna has made, and that I feel confident in. And it turns out it's something like this.
Nice.
Now, do I know what all these components do? No. But we have leg things, we have arm things. Let's give it like a capsule thing. Back.
Just check in with Octavio. Yeah, I typed that in encaustic painting, which I think is something to do with wax. It seemed to understand what that is. It's giving kind of a similar effect, but yep, Firefly knew what that was, so it went for it. And I think you could add some other filters on this, right? Like you could add like a bit of texture or something. Like if you wanted to seem like it was actually on a canvas, you could even add like a thatched canvas to it. Something like that. But for our purposes today, I think that's pretty key. I'm gonna leave mine there because we've only got a minute left, Johanna. We've got to say our goodbyes.
Oh my goodness, time has flown so quickly.
It has. Well, thanks, guys. We should be back. I'm sure we'll be back next week with some more of this because we just have too much fun doing it. But we've got to figure out how that works with our schedule because things are crazy. But thanks everyone for joining us. And thank you so much, Johanna, for hanging out. And it's been great. We'll catch you guys next week with Adobe Live.
Absolutely. See you then, everyone.
Bye.